Welcome to Rise Up with Robby, the live stream where politics, sports, and faith come together to inspire, challenge, and empower. Your host is Robby Wells, former NCAA Division I football coach, motivational speaker, author, and former presidential candidate. Every week, we will tackle today's biggest issues, explore the world of sports, and discover how faith and purpose can help you overcome any obstacle. Get ready for bold conversations and practical inspiration. It's time to rise up.
Hi, and welcome to the Rise Up with Robby podcast. I'm Robby Wells, host of the show. Glad to be with you today. We have such a great guest that I am bringing a blast from my past that I actually had a chance to coach back in 1997, 1998, and that is Troy Hambrick. Troy Hambrick went on to be a great running back in the NFL, playing for Dallas Cowboys, playing for the Arizona Cardinals. We really look forward to diving in deep with Troy and his time with the Cowboys and with the Cardinals and playing with none other than Emmitt Smith and splitting time with him. So with that being said, we're going to take a short break. We're going to go to commercial. And when we come back, I'm going to have Troy Hambrick right here with us.
I'm Robby Wells. I was a former college football coach, also ran for president of the United States. Understand this, you're going to go through some dark times. Some of you in here may be going through them, and that's why you're new to this business, okay? Midnight's the darkest part of any day. Just remember, midnight does not last very long because at 12:01 it's morning, and it's time to rise up, and it's time to blast off. Understand this, you're going to get better and better and better. You're going to make mistakes. It's okay to fail. Fail big. Because if you fail big, you're going to learn from it and you're going to move on from it. But always take advice from those that have been there and they have done that. You see, whether you are black or white, young or old, male or female, a member of the LGBTQ community, whatever your religion may be, we're all very unique in this room right here. We can celebrate our differences because we've got one common bond. We are all Americans and we all work for the greatest company on the face of this planet, Family First Life.
Thanks for joining us today on the Rise Up with Robby podcast. I'm Robby Wells, host of the show. And listen, we are in for a treat today. I've got a special guest, none other than Troy Hambrick. Troy played running back for us at the University of South Carolina right when I first broke into coaching college football. I had the opportunity and the pleasure to work with Troy for 2 seasons. And then a couple of years later, Troy breaks into the NFL playing with my favorite team since I was just a little 7-year-old kid, the Dallas Cowboys. I still can't believe it. And if you look on my office wall, you're going to see a picture of Troy when he was playing for the Cowboys. Troy, how is it, man?
Hey man, how about them Cowboys? You
How
know,
about them Cowboys? I
you
tell you
know,
what, there's a lot of people out there that are all upset with them because it's been 31 years since that last Super Bowl team. But you know what? This might be our year. We got some good defensive players in that draft. What do you think?
yeah, I agree totally. I feel the offense is set. I think Mr. Jones is hearing the fans' needs and wants, and I think he's plugging away, trying to get a defensive caliber system ran over there. So we're excited and look forward to what the Cowboys have to offer this year. We're expecting big things again.
Well, we are expecting big things. You know, the last time that defense was really playing well was when Coach Quinn was there. And when he left, everything kind of fell apart on the defensive side. So hopefully they're going to put that back together this year. So with that being said, let's switch gears. Let's go back a few years ago. I know, after you had played with the University of South Carolina, I'd been there with you for about 2 years, and that
Yeah.
was great. I had just come in after you had made that big run
Mhm.
against Clemson in that night game. You remember that run?
Man, I tell you, I would never forget it. A true
It it,
freshman,
it
a
set
true
it
freshman.
set the course of that second half and really changed that game. And of course, the Gamecocks went on to win that game that night in Death Valley.
Yeah, had some good moments there. You had Anthony Wright there. You had, Marcus Robinson over there, Zola Davis, and you got the great Deuce Staley. For some odd reason, Deuce's name don't come up enough anymore. And I tell you, somebody need to talk about Deuce Staley and his career that he's had over the years.
Well, Deuce and I, we've got something in common. We both have a sibling that's special needs, and I've always taken a liking to Deuce, and loved his attitude towards not only the game of football but the game of life. And of course, he's gone on. He's been coaching in the NFL. But enough about that. Let's talk about you.
Yes,
I
sir.
know that you transferred that last year, went down to Savannah State.
Wow.
Now, from the outside looking in, people probably thought his career's over. It's done. He's going to Savannah State. You
Yeah.
know what? I had the same people saying the same thing about me when I went down there to be the coach
Yes,
at
sir.
Savannah State.
Yes,
But
sir.
when you went there to Savannah State that last season in college, you tore it up.
Oh man, yeah, man. After making the decision to depart from Lou Holtz and the things that he was bringing into the South University of South Carolina, once I made that acceptance, hey, he wanted me to come back. He wanted me to go on to the end of the roster. I'm going into my senior year. He got too many stipulations there, and God bless his soul. But I just was betting on myself, and I felt that if I can put a good solid season together, it's bigger opportunities to come. And thanking Savannah State for giving me an opportunity to come in. Didn't quite meet all the requirements academically wise, and by the grace of God, they were still able to get me in there, and I was able to go on and finish my career.
Well, one thing that I've always said, Troy, it doesn't matter where you start. If you're good enough, people will find you. And you were good enough.
Well, I
And because of that, you went to Savannah State. And from there, the next year, you were playing for the Dallas Cowboys. And you did it as an undrafted free agent. Am I correct? I think we lost him. Let's hope we can get Troy back. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, we're not getting a counter on the YouTube. Right. Yeah, we can edit it and re-air it. There he is. He's back.
There you go.
I'm so sorry.
We
No
got it.
worries. No worries.
You
All
know
right,
when
so
you when
let's
you
let's jump right back into it. So you're at Savannah State. Season comes, season goes, your senior year. Draft comes, draft goes. You don't get drafted. Talk us through that and what was running through your mind and through your heart at the time.
Well, having a big brother like Darren, Darren set the standards, and Darren had his big draft party. He had all the family around, and by the grace of God, he was able to be selected. So when my turn came around, got the big party, got my homeboys there, got my family there, and not to be called, man, that hurt a lot. So I ended up going to the river and I cried. And while I'm at the river crying because I felt like my career is over, come to find out the Cowboys was calling the whole time saying, hey, we're gonna bring you into camp. So by me missing the call, I ended up missing my opportunity. So,
Well, well, I
to come
understand
back.
that, but you still, how did you end up getting to the Cowboys? Tell us
Well, I
that.
can't. Well, my brother went to the front office and said, "Hey, Mr. Jones, you know, if will my brother be next up? Will my brother be next up if something happened to some of the running backs?" And Mr. Jones told him, yeah, and as they went through training, they went through mini camps and all these other camps, a couple of guys didn't pan out to Mr. Jones' liking. And that's how I got my opportunity. Came there, worked out, probably a week before training camp, 2 weeks before training camp, didn't have many OTAs. So, I dove right in. And probably was like the sixth or seventh running back on the roster. And my only way win was special teams. And I got the liking of Joe Avazano, fell in love with Coach Joe Avazano.
Yep.
And man, my brother taught me along the way, as Coach Avazano taught me along the way, and opportunities started to happen.
Well, Coach Abizano is one of the best kicking coaches ever to work in the NFL, in my humble opinion. And the fact that you actually got to get coached by him,
Yeah.
that's a blessing within itself. It really, really is. And then one of the greatest owners in NFL history, Jerry Jones, and you were actually a part of his organization. That speaks volumes right there, Troy. It really, really does.
It says a lot. It's a lot of thank you and a lot of gratefulness to Mr. Jones and his family. You find out Mr. Jones was holding the pen when it's time to make the roster. Think about that. Mr. Jones is holding the pen while it's time to make the roster, and he
Oh, that's
etched
right.
my name into it some way. My work, my commitment, my dedication, my hard work. He,
Well, you know what I've always said, Troy, and I said this back when we were together at USC. I said 90% of winning is showing up. The other 10% is your attitude. You've always had this positive attitude that is infectious. And anybody
yeah.
that was around you in that locker room, those players, those coaches are like, hey, this is my guy right here. Troy Hambrick is the guy we want to be uh, working with and go to the foxhole with. If we got to go to war against some other team, Troy Hambrick's going to be there with us.
Well, I tell you, coming out of Lacucci, Florida, coming from where it was tough, coming through that Pasco Pirate brand, where we was able to obtain a state championship, dealing with
Yep.
being taught by the right leaders in front of me, and you find out how to get the team rally behind you, man. And I had an awesome brother, and I had some other guys like Michael Pennis Senior. You got DeAndre Reed and some of them guys from my local town. They really inbred it and put in me the fire to want to compete, the fire to
Well,
be a football player.
I had the chance to work with your brother too there at USC, and for you, both of y'all to be able to play together in college, turn around and play together in the NFL. I don't know if Dallas has had brothers play together before or since. Have
Yeah,
they?
yeah. Well, we was the first tandem. As I'm going on, I'm hanging with Kevin Pup Smith, three-time Super Bowl champ, and he's putting facts in my life. Troy, man, you got the longest run that wasn't a touchdown in Cowboys history. Troy, you and your brother was the first brother tandem to ever make an active roster in the Cowboys history. And as life goes on, you try to find these nuggets to want to continue. You got legendary blood, and you got done legendary things, but where's the writing at? And most of the time, the writing is in the championship years that the Cowboys had, and we wasn't a part of those days.
Well, no, I can understand that, but when you had that run, the longest run in Dallas history that was not a touchdown. Who was that against?
Philadelphia Eagles,
The Philadelphia Eagles, the team that we hate.
the team that we hate, and as time go on, we still hate them. We just, it's good competitive fire, but we cannot stand no Eagles.
Well, let me just tell you this. I have a house that's divided because I've got a brother. He loves the Eagles as much as I love the Cowboys. So twice a year when that game comes on,
Yeah.
he and I are like at each other's throat.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So yeah, went on, man. Got a chance to play behind Emmitt. I got a chance to play with Emmitt, and man, what a tremendous ride! What a high character guy, and you find somebody that you want to emulate your game behind, and he was the guy. When I went in the locker room as a first year guy, second year guy, my eyes wasn't on those guys who came in with me. My eyes was on the veteran guys, the guys who's doing it the right way. Was I still an adolescent and doing stuff that what we're gonna do in our age frame? Yes, but man, to keep my eyes on the Troy Aikman that one year I had him. Keep my eye on Emmitt those years. That gave me enough juice in my career to was taught by a champion.
Well, think about this. You came in on the tail end of those champions, Emmitt Smith and Troy Aikman, and I believe it was your brother in a car ride out to Dallas that told you, listen, I told you now, Troy,
Yeah.
you're going to get your chance at running back. And you looked at him and said, they've got Emmitt Smith. He says, so you listen to what I'm telling you?
That's right.
You're going
That's
to get
right.
your chance. And you know
Yeah.
what? You did.
Yeah, things was up for grabs, and I just couldn't believe it. And as time went on, you look at it. My brother was in the system already, so he knew what pro ball was about. He knew how the organization was being ran. And come to find out, man, you know, the number one position wasn't open, but that number two or three was open because Mr. Jones will, Mr. Jones wouldn't have no other way for Emmitt to break that record in the Cowboys jersey.
Well, the one thing about it, if you're a second team running back or a second team anything, you're one play away from having to step in to that role. It
Yeah.
takes one little injury, one little tweak,
Oh
and
yeah.
then you're the guy. And I believe that's what happened. And then when you got your opportunity, you ran with it.
Man, yeah, you don't get many. You're up under evaluation. Life is an evaluation, and every day you got a chance to prove yourself or not prove yourself, and the choice is yours. I picked up on what I was good at, and I paid a lot of more attention what I wasn't good at, and what I wasn't good at was reading the defense. And that one year that I was there with Troy, man, Troy opened my eyes to the whole field and the game slowed down for me, and that gave me the edge. Sitting next to Big Troy Aikman, and he called me Little Troy, and man, he would drop me little nuggets. Ham, look over here. Look at that. The blitz is coming here, and man, that's what helped me, man. The help of a Troy Aikman, a Emmitt, a Darren Hambrick. Those guys are really champion in my eyes.
Yeah, that was your teachers, and you were the student. And you were very smart to take that advice and listen to those guys, learn from those guys, and then apply it on the field. I've seen a lot of guys that they think they've got the talent, and they do. They got the talent, but they don't have the smarts to sit back with somebody that's been there and done that. I've always said, only take advice from those that have been there and they have done that. They have proven that they are winners. Why do you want to take advice from somebody that's a bum?
Yeah.
Okay. Take advice from the winners, and you did.
Yeah, and got there, man. And as time went on, now you go back and try to revisit some of these moments. And in my mind, and my family mind, being Emmitt's backup, being Emmitt's predecessor, it weighs something, and to go back in history and be able to try to walk down history with me being in the locker room with those 16 games, those last 3 years that Emmitt needed that little bit of juice. I feel like I was the guy. Robert Thomas was the guy. Michael Wiley was the guy that fueled Emmitt because Emmitt needed some juice. And I felt like, with all due respect, I think we should be mentioned more in a lot of things. I think it's more calculated to the years of him and Moose Johnson when they won the Super Bowl.
Right.
But what about the last 3 or 4 dog years that Robert Thomas, myself, and some of these other guys blocked for you and got some of these yards for you? And I think going back, I'm here trying to run up into Emmitt, want to say, "Hey, bro, how you doing?" And I want him to bless me with my vision. We're not asking for a handout; we're asking for a hand up because I think these guys need to be recognized also.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but Emmitt Smith, when he finally broke that rushing record, it was you that was there,
It was
and
me.
you that embraced him when he came off that field.
Man, to go back and talk about that year. Just go back to the beginning. Start back when it was a little confusion between how good the offense ran when the ball is in his hands and the ball was in my hands. Let the media talk about it. And that's what I'm here for, man. And me and my wife had a vision of coming back and trying to put a project together. It might not help us, but it'll help the kids in my community back in Florida, of giving them hope and saying, man, if Troy can touch the top, what's stopping me?
So
And
tell
that's
me,
and
tell me about your foundation that you guys, the 42 Foundation.
yeah, been working on it, man. Just giving back, man. I had some hiccups in the road, You know, I know with my history of the game, I know what players need. I think I know what motivation they need. I think I know some of the miscellaneous stuff they need, some of the big stuff they need. So I'm just looking to give back. I'm looking to give back to a community, to the Cowboys community, wherever I'm at. I never meet a stranger. So so
No, you
I
don't.
pull guys over all the time and I talk with them and offer hand any kind of way, because every day you're a foundation. And every day you could give back and you can do something instrumental to help the next person along.
Well, Troy, you know that after my 20 years in coaching, I jumped into politics, and I'll probably do it again. If I end up getting the position that I want, and the people see it my way, good Lord willing,
Amen.
then when the Cowboys finally do win that Super Bowl again, hopefully I'll be in that position.
Yes, sir.
Instead of the Cowboys just coming to the White House, maybe we could actually get them to have a practice on the White House lawn.
Man, that'll be different. That'll
That
be
would be
different.
different, wouldn't
And
it?
things are trend setting now. People are doing different things. It's not the old conventional way anymore. And I
It's
like that
not.
style. And I like that style. So, in this world, you got to make them say your name, Robbie, or they'll look you over. You have to make them say your name. Do something great enough to make the announcer say your name. Make them say it more than one time. And that's always been in my head. I'm going to make you say my name. And
Well, I think back on that Redskins game. I know they were saying your name after that long run. I think y'all were up about 20-0 at the time. I remember the game. It was in Washington.
yeah.
And all of a sudden you break free. You had this great move on the safety, and all of a sudden you're in just green grass.
Man, and there can be so much green grass in front of you. And I go back and look at that play, and I look how taped up I was, all bandaged up. Man, can you imagine the year that I had? I'm coming from 250, 255. Bill Parcell comes in, take over, make the guys made me get down to 235. And I never played that small, that weight since college. And man, to from a bruiser to taking the licks that year, man, those licks went to piling up. And I go back and look at that run, and I look at my arm patched up, my wrist patched up, and I'm saying, man, I took a beating that year, man.
Yeah, I know you did take a beating, but that's the NFL. It really is. So walk us through when Emmitt was traded to the Cardinals. And then what was running through your mind at that point?
Well, as time went on, and time went on, Mr. Jones had a meeting with me, and Mr. Jones let me know that, listen, Troy, I understand what the media is saying, but I will be a damn fool to let Emmitt Smith break that record in somebody else's jersey.
Right.
And so you're gonna either be quiet and let the organization run the show, or I'm gonna cut you behind. So it was nut cutting time, and as time went on, after that meeting with Mr. Jones, and I understood the business side of things,
Right.
Emmitt and I started playing together. Man, when we built up some love for each other. It really wasn't hasty. It really wasn't in a negative, but it's just a big brother, little brother thing. Two Florida guys, two bunch of furious fire,
Right.
competitive nature. So, we started working together, and we had a common goal. And the common goal was to get Emmitt to where he needed to be at. And man, that's why I walked out on the field, man, to go back and to think about the way they laid it out for Emmitt once he broke that record, man, was amazing. And to know that a small town kid from La Coochie, Florida, was on that big stage looking at this with his eyeballs, man, it was historical. Now,
That was historical.
when they went on and they released Emmitt going into Mr. Parcells' tenure, it was no thinking. It was back to work. I had to make the roster every year I played. I
Of
didn't have no
course.
guaranteed contract, so I got to break the 53-man roster. So it's back to, if I have to go back to special teams, it didn't matter.
That's
My
right.
job is to find employment. And that's what I think a lot of guys get misconception when you're dealing with pro ball. If you're not the franchise quarterback, you need to be a football player. I was a tight end. I was a fullback. I was a tailback. I was on special teams. You hear me? I'm gonna be a team player, and that's how you build it.
That's exactly what you had to
And every
do.
now and then you'll get a touch here, a touch there. Thank you, but I'm gonna go. Coach, you want me to go kick the dog on ball? I'll kick the ball if it means I'm gonna make the 53-man roster.
But then what was so great after Emmitt was traded to the Cardinals, then all of a sudden you're there and you and Emmitt are there together again.
Yeah. So Danny Green called. I'm in Oakland. Oakland is not Dallas, and man, I'm in a funk. And now I'm back down in Oakland with Tyrone Wheatley, and now they're finna do this whole year for Tyrone Wheatley, and I say not again. Not again. So man, I went to the GM. We talked some kind of way. Arizona and Denny Green called, and man, a blessing in disguise. So when I get back when I get to Arizona, probably day two, Emmitt says, "Hey, Troy, my wife want to talk to you." So they invite me out to the house. And
Okay.
man, as soon as I walk through the door, she say, "Troy Hambrick, we're not with your bullshit. you gonna excuse my French. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
We're gonna come out here, we're gonna play some football, and we're gonna enjoy ourselves." And I gave Pat a hug. I gave Emmitt a hug, man. And man, we went out on the balcony and we laughed a little bit, man. And we ate some things. And man, that year in Arizona with Emmitt, man, it was like no other. Scottsdale was just building up at the time. Man, it was like no other, man. Got a coach like Denny Green. You got Larry Fitzgerald there, his first year. You got Anquan Bolden. Man, you got so many. You got so many out there, man, and we really enjoyed ourselves.
Well, you have been one of the very few that have been blessed to be surrounded by some great athletes. Not only did you play in the NFL, not only did you play for the Cowboys, but you got to play side by side with, in my opinion, one of the greatest to ever play running back, which was Emmitt,
Yeah.
with the yards that he got.
Yes,
And
sir.
yet you were able to hold your own and actually perform at that level yourself. You were a lot younger. Emmitt was beat up. And then, like you say, Coach Parcells made you lose that weight. You got beat up too.
Yeah, man.
That's
Yeah.
part of the game. Okay. And you have to do it. And the thing that I like about you, Troy, is that you just said, man, you play fullback, you play running back, you play tight end, you play special teams. You wanted to play.
I want to play ball, coach. I'm
That's
a
it.
ball player. I am a
I'll tell
ball
you
player.
what, I know it's been years now, but you still motivate me now. Let's go play.
Man, you got to make them say your name, Rob. If you don't make them say your name, bro, what you gonna be? You gonna stand on
That's
the sideline? We wasn't raised to stand on the sideline. We want action.
Hey,
From down
listen, we
where I'm
do
from,
make
we
them
want
say our
action.
name. If they don't say my name when I walk in the room, I leave the room.
You hear me? It means something. It
That's
means
right.
something. And that's the attitude I had going in. You got Chris Warren, you got Emmitt, you got a lot of greats already in a roster field. And man, how do you get your way in there? How do you work your way in there? And you got to do the unbelievable. That's being a football player and getting back to the basics.
The fact that you got to play for America's team, okay, that's got to mean the world to you. Knowing that you can pretty much go anywhere in the entire country, and there are going to be Dallas Cowboy fans that are going to say, that's Troy Hambrick right there. He
Yes,
played
yes,
for America's team.
yes.
I always told people, I said, you know why there's a hole in the top of the stadium of the Dallas Cowboys? You know?
Yeah,
So that God
Say
can
God,
watch
say
them.
So
God look
God can
down on
watch
it.
the
Yes,
game.
sir. Yes,
That's
sir.
right.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Yes,
So
sir.
God can watch the game.
And for an organization, man, that had options that could have went a different direction, man, and chose not only myself but my brother to give us the opportunity, man, to help our families and to show that it can be done. And I really appreciate Mr. Jones to look back at the documentaries and to see the risk and the reward that he went through, everything that he went through to build the brand man. And it's like no other. That documentary mean a lot to me now. I went back, it goes back in history that I didn't know nothing about. And man, to see it from the front office, you never see it from the front office. And
That's
man,
exactly right.
he gave it to us. He gave it to us. And for a guy like Mr. Jones, I would lay my life down for a guy like Mr. Jones.
Oh, Mr. Jones, a lot of people misunderstood him and still do to this day. But I'll tell you this right now. He eats, sleeps, and breathes Dallas Cowboys. He really,
Yeah.
really does.
Yes, he
So,
does.
Troy, it's been great having you on the show.
I thank you,
Tell
man.
everybody before we close out today how they can get in touch with you and what all you got going on?
Well, I got going on. I'm revitalizing my life. Lost my wife 6 months ago in the rebuilding stages. So I'm trying to get some at-risk programs with
Yeah.
careless drivers. Working that with my foundation. I'm trying to get this documentary, walking back through history with Emmitt and I, looking for him to bless this, to getting the other guys that was in the locker room some juice for life, so they can go home and show their kids. They can go home and show their community, man, I was a part of this thing. Yeah, man, just giving back. Giving back. You can find me on Troy Hambrick Facebook, Troy Hambrick 42 on Instagram, or you can find me up at the Star, because I'm gonna hang around these Cowboys and see what they got or what they got to offer. And I'm looking forward to CD Lamb and Pickens going deep a lot this year.
Oh yeah, you got CD, you got Pickens, and then you got Dak throwing it to them. And then
Yeah.
on the defensive side, they've got those young kids that they've signed. Man, I'm telling you what.
Man, I mean, we looking for big things this year. You look at that schedule, and I'm hoping it's not a year that we just give up the close ones at the end. I think this year here we'll grind out at least 4 or 5 of those close ones, and it's going to be in our favor this year.
Last thing we want to talk about, last year at the beginning of the season, they let Micah go to the Green Bay Packers. And there were a lot of people saying, I don't know if that was a good move. But if you look, history always repeats itself. And I look back when Jimmy Johnson took that job and he let the best player on Dallas's team go, and that was Herschel Walker. And it ended up being the blessing in disguise that brought 3 world titles to the Cowboys.
Yeah, we're going back to the Super Bowl, man. I got my guy Colonel Bill over here with me hanging out. He's a Cowboy diehard. I can't begin to tell you. Oh yeah, I got a Tony Romo jersey. Tony, we love you, man. We love you. Shake the haters off, Tony.
That's right.
Off, man. That's a
Let me
Romo
tell you this
jersey.
about haters, Troy. I've always said that haters are always beneath you.
That's right.
They're never above you, because then they don't have anything to hate. So if they're hating on you, it's because you are above them. So let your haters be your motivators.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. I thank God for letting you have me. We're expecting big things. I look forward to rejoining you again sometime when the season warms up. And
Hey, listen, we'll do that. In fact, I'm planning on being out in Dallas. I believe it's November 1st. Arizona actually plays the Cowboys in Dallas that day. So I'm planning on being in Arlington for that game. Hopefully, I'll see you there. And then when I get out and I start speaking around, I want you to come speak too.
I want you to invite me over. I'll come. I'll come and sign that jersey that you have on your kitchen over your kitchen table. I'm talking about the picture.
You got it. Absolutely. You signed that thing, and I've got that one. I've got A1, Anthony Wright.
Yeah.
And I've got your brother's picture there too.
Yes,
and then I got a guy named Demetrius Summers that played briefly with the Cowboys that I had a chance to coach.
Yeah. He's a good. I talk with him all the time too. He's revamping his life, and he's coming along too. Him and the other running back that we had there,
Derek Watson.
Yeah, Derek Watson. I'm trying to build a camp with those running backs coming through USC over the years, trying to get back.
Y'all need to get with George Rogers too. Get the 4 of you guys together. Yeah. Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, Big Boo, man. Yeah.
Oh, Boo. Yeah, get Boo Williams in there too.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, listen, again, Troy, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a pleasure. Everybody, it's been awesome having Troy here today. Make sure that you tune in next week. Okay, next Tuesday at 5:00 p.m. Eastern Time, I am going to have one of the greatest college football coaches on live with us, and that's Rick Stockstill. He's back at his alma mater coaching with the Florida State Seminoles. We'll see you then. Thanks again, Troy.
Thank you.
What do you do when life knocks you down? You rise up. In Touchdown America, coach, speaker, and presidential candidate Robby Wells shares his remarkable journey through football, politics, adversity, and second chances. Packed with hard-won wisdom and powerful inspiration, this must-read memoir will challenge you to pursue your dreams, learn from every setback, and rise again. Get your copy of Touchdown America today. Thanks for joining us on Rise Up with Robby. If today's conversation encouraged or challenged you, be sure to like, subscribe, and share this live stream with your family and friends. Join us again every Tuesday at 5 o'clock Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and TikTok. Until next time, keep your faith strong, keep moving forward, and remember, it's always time to rise up.